Well, hi everyone. My name is Jonathan Moreland, and I'm the trial manager here at Raven, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar on reporting. For many, reporting is an evil four-letter word, but in this presentation, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks that should help you not only make better reports faster, but it'll also help you with your day-to-day marketing work as well. After all, Raven's mission is to help you do more and spend less in your online marketing, and reports really should be no exception. In terms of an agenda for what you're going to learn today, I'm basically going to break this up into three parts. First, I'm going to introduce you to the three audiences you should be creating reports for. Contrary to popular belief, reports are not just for whoever pays you. If you start thinking of three types of reports and these three audiences for your reports, you can really use your reports to improve your marketing campaigns and get better results in the first place. We'll also talk about some tips and tricks for building these reports for each of the different audiences, as well as the types of data and messaging you might want to include. And finally, I'll be showing you the specific Raven tools and features that can help you build and even automate all of these different types of reports and really speed up your work. So reporting, we're here to talk about it. No one likes to do it. When people think about reports, this is usually what they feel like. But rest assured, Raven can help. Raven can make reporting not be painful. And in fact, I hope you'll see some things today that'll make you actually look forward to running your reports, whether that's daily, weekly, or monthly. So since Raven can, in fact, help you create reports so quickly, you'll be able to discover that there are actually many other things you can and should be doing with your reports. And so these new and different uses for your reports tie into the different audiences that you create reports for. For example, not everyone thinks of reporting for yourself. So reporting for you. There are many ways you can use reports to do your job better, and I'll kind of elaborate on those here in a minute. Another type of reporting is reporting as a manager. Managers need to not only manage their campaigns, but their teams as well. And even if you're not actually managing a team, you can still learn a lot by creating an automatic report for yourself to look at the campaign as a manager rather than as the one in the trenches doing the work. And of course, reporting to your boss or client. We all have to do this. These are the people who need to see results and who pay you for your work. Bosses and clients can also be the trickiest audience since they don't always understand what online marketing is or how it's helping. So you kind of have that learning curve you have to manage as well. So let's take a closer look at each of these audiences and examples of the types of reports that'll help you out. We'll start with reporting for yourself. You the doer. You might not even think about creating reports for yourself, but there are three big ways these sort of self-reports can help your marketing. First, self-reports can speed up your work. The majority of Raven's tools can create a report with a single click based on the tool you're in and the data you're viewing. So this can not only help you always be prepared, but also make things like status meetings more productive, since everyone can see your report and visualize what's going on. Reports can also help you change vantage points. Since you're the doer, you're the one actually managing the campaign, it can be easy to lose sight of the big picture. And also making adjustments. By using reports to change vantage points, you can better balance the day-to-day minutia with your larger campaign goals. Seeing a visual report can, give you these insights into what's working and what's not, and what needs more attention in your campaign that you can't always see from, a tool or a spreadsheet. So let's look at some specific examples of the types of data and reports that will help you realize these self-reporting benefits. First, speeding up your work. Let's start with the basics. Virtually all data in Raven is reportable. If you can research or manage it in our toolset, you can include it in a report. And for much of this data, you can wrap up in a one-click quick report. So to create a quick report at any time in Raven, just navigate to the tool options in the top right corner of the tool, and with a single click, you can build a PDF snapshot of the tool you're in and the data you're viewing. Now, at face value, this obviously helps you speed up your work, but remember that reporting for yourself isn't just about working faster. It's about getting better results faster. So let's use this quick report as an example for the second benefit of reporting for yourself, which is changing vantage points. So, benefit number 2, changing your view to find opportunities. And what we see on the left here is Raven's site performance tool. I've set up a comparison date range and some side-by-side comparisons with 2 of this example website's competitors. And we can see that some of our metrics are trending positively, some are trending the wrong direction, and that one of our competitors is just absolutely dominating this comparison. So I have a lot of data here, but I want to use a report to take a simpler filtered view and make this a little more actionable. So I'm going to click that negative filter at the top of the table that arrow is pointing to, and then I'm going to run a quick report like we just learned how to do. So on the right side, we see this quick report. It's only showing our negative trending metrics. So in this case, we're not just comparing one site to another, we're also trying to identify needs and opportunities for our website. And so, we're getting out of this big data table and we're formatting this cleanly. And just like that, I can see that my biggest problem areas are in regards to backlinks and load time. And load time appears to really, really be suffering right now. So that might be something we can pursue to try to close the gap between our site performance and the competition's. But before I do anything else, I want to research whether or not this is a worthwhile theory. So again, changing vantage points, zooming in and zooming out, I can examine our on-site issues of our slow page speed in Raven's Site Auditor. So when I crank this out in PDF format in Raven's Report Wizard, you can see on the right the report. And I have some visual elements and 11 pages of data from our Why Slow report talking about what we could do better to improve our site performance. Now, if site audits are confusing to you, don't worry. This is just one example. But what I'm doing here is starting with a big picture goal of improving our site performance, comparing it to competitors. And then I'm looking at specific tactical data and reporting it and visualizing it in a format that allows me to, better see that this is a very, very real, viable opportunity for my website. So these reports make that a little bit easier to see, and now we know what to fix on our website. The reports you build for yourself don't just have to be these simple, quick reports. With Raven, you can schedule and automate your reports and even receive updates about your entire campaign. So kind of in other words, you can treat yourself like a client and let Raven build and send you the progress reports on your behalf. So scheduling and automating these reports is easy. First you can go to Reports Wizard. You can select Build a New Scheduled Report. The third step is completing the scheduled report options. And finally, you have the ultimate set it and forget it feature of being able to automatically email and deliver this report to yourself. I'll show you how to do this live towards the end of this walkthrough. In the meantime, wanted to highlight this feature, and kind of reiterate how your bosses and clients always want to see these reports because they enable them to make better decisions. Reports are always helpful for all marketers. They're only not helpful when they're taking you away from your work. So here, we have this custom, comprehensive self-progress report delivered every week to your own inbox to help you see what you need to do to make your campaign succeed. So it can help you speed up and improve your work. So we're going to transition now to reporting as a manager, which can be tough because managers juggle a lot of data and responsibilities. There's a lot of overlap between this audience and the other two. You might be your own manager, you might be building these reports for a manager, but at the end of the day, there's a few things managerial reports have in common that Raven can help with. These include monitoring a team's productivity and workflow, so you can see who's doing what, how quickly. You can balance the past, present, and future views of your campaign, so just kind of think of that, in other words, like reporting on what you've done, what you're doing, and what you plan to do next. And third, reporting as a manager means you have the responsibility to report on the right data and the right metrics that are going to enable you to make the best possible decisions. So let's take a look at these items and start here with team visibility. And so in terms of supervising a team, you always want to know who's doing what and how quickly. And Raven's Link Manager's link reports are actually a good example of the capability to tag, filter, and sort your report data in different ways. So what I did here on the left is create a link report. I'm organizing the links by their status, but leaving every other filter blank. And then on the right, I ran the report, and we see that there are 56 total links in Link Manager during this time period. But there has to be more to this story. If I'm a manager, I want to know where these links came from. I want to know who's going to follow up on these 22 links that aren't active. And I just kind of want to change my view to get more visibility into what's going on with my link building team and kind of the story behind this data. So what I've done is create a second link report. I'm using the same date range, but in this case, one of my filters is for link owner. This report is only going to show me Allison's and Greg's links, so I can see if they're overachieving or slacking. And on the right, we see the report, and I can take a closer look at each of their contributions to this link building campaign. And so the example here, the lesson is that Raven can help you slice your marketing data in different ways. And you should do this so you can see patterns and make strategy adjustments within your own team. So in this example, the report's telling me that Allison might be better at researching link opportunities, whereas Greg is better at the outreach. And so, again, just one example of the types of managerial insights you can pull based on the tags and criteria and filtering options in many of Report Wizard's report modules. So balancing short and long-term goals, that was another benefit of reporting as a manager. And so as a manager, you should remember to look at how trends and results are changing over longer periods of time than just that week or that month. So in this example on the left, I'm building a Google Analytics report for the month of September, and we're looking at all traffic on a daily scale. On the right, you see the graph. There are peaks and valleys in traffic, and I don't know. I don't know. What can we learn from this? Can you tell me whether this is a good month or a bad month? Anyone? No, you can't, because it's, too short of a view. So what I've done here is add another Google Analytics summary module. So it's the same module, just different date range. And so we're looking at the past 6 months on a weekly scale. And so on the right, we can see that we have indeed grown our traffic slowly over the course of 6 months. And September, despite those odd-looking peaks and valleys, was a great overall month for our website relative to where we were 6 and even 3 months ago. So, just a lesson here, a reminder that you can use reports to make sure people know that you are getting results, even if it's taking time. Change doesn't happen overnight, so zoom out from time to time and examine these long-term trends and patterns too. Finally, for reporting as a manager, it's important to be selecting and reporting on the right metrics. And by right metrics, I just kind of mean don't measure something for the sake of it. Measure something because it matters to your website and matters to your business. Because at the end of the day, we all want those goal completions and conversions, but there are these really tactical metrics in your campaign that are really important to measuring your progress along the way. So an example of how Raven allows you to choose your own metrics is Research Central's custom quality analyzer scores. So in this example, I am using a social-only metrics mashup that I invented in Research Central. And on the right, we see this glaring need. This website, schemacreator.org, might be doing well from a link or technical on-site SEO perspective, but as far as social factors go, we are not a strong website at all. And so there are other uses for these quality reports. Here I whipped up 2 more quality reports, and on the left you see that I'm researching my website using only Moz data. And on the right, I'm analyzing my website using only Majestic SEO data. So there's 2 very different scores in each of these reports, but they're both sort of measuring the general SEO health and authority of my website. So the issue here is not whether Majestic or Moz data is better, but rather how you should measure and look at your site through different lenses to find out these glaring needs and opportunities and areas to improve. It's up to you to find the data sources that are most accurate, most helpful, and most valuable. Because different sources might show you different opportunities, and as a manager, you have this control and need to take this control over the metrics you use to guide your campaign. So we're working as a doer, we're working as a manager, we're building these reports, but at some point, no matter, what your role is with your company, you ultimately need to think about reporting to your boss or client to show the value of your work. But unfortunately, when it comes to marketing, not every boss or client will be able to understand what you're doing. They might be new to online marketing, or they might simply have a tough time seeing how you're helping their business. And that's okay. Part of your job is to get results, but another part is to show your client these results and explain how you're helping their business. So here are a few tips for creating better reports for your bosses and clients. First, speak your client's language. Clients pay willingly, or at least complain less, when you give them a report showing them results in terms they can understand. This means you need to keep things simple and business-oriented rather than confusing them with crazy facts about a search algorithm update. They really, in all likelihood, don't care. They just want to see those results. Second, telling a story can also help make reports a little bit more effective. And so in most cases, what I mean here is data alone won't tell the complete story about your level of effort or the challenges you overcame. So if you kind of tell a story about things you observed, things that changed, and the work you did, that can help explain your results. Finally, bosses and clients love seeing their company on top. They love seeing their branding on reports too. So I'll show you some simple ways to customize your reports to make your client feel even better about the online performance that you're showing them. So we'll start by talking about what I mean when I say you should be speaking your client's language. Because, again, your clients don't always speak SEO. And if they do speak SEO, you're lucky, because not every client that's way. That's probably why they hired you in the first place, for you to speak SEO. Your bosses and clients want to speak business, things like visibility and conversions. And so one thing that can help you transition from marketing metrics to more value and business-oriented results is visuals. It sounds kind of silly, but pictures and colors can help provide visual proof of your work. So in this example on the left, I'm returning to that Link Manager link report, and what I'm doing is enabling link clips. If link monitoring is enabled, Raven will automatically create these clips for you. And so these are cached screenshots of the page hosting this link to your website. And on the right, we can see these link clips in the table. And to your client, this is great stuff. This is proof that you built something real. For non-techie clients, links are just code. They're something that just lives on the internet. But sometimes when they see this clip, it can help them just sort of finally fully understand that this is more than just an SEO metric. It's an impression. It's value. It's helping their site grow. And so you can create link clips for anything, by the way. We've got Raven customers who use this for public relations, social media, blog hits, anywhere you want to literally show an online mention or show content and its value, you can get creative and use Link Manager and these link clips to help with that. Another place where you can help your clients begin to understand your results is in Raven's Social Monitor tool. So here what I've done is created a report showing my boss or client kind of the buzz about the Nashville Predators hockey team, and I'm showing them how this changes over time. And on the right, you can see some interesting trends over a 6-month view. Mentions rise very noticeably during the season and fall dramatically during the off-season. So let's pretend my client's wondering why site traffic has been low to his Predators website. Here, we can show him that people aren't even talking about the Predators for certain months each year. So traffic and revenue might also slow down and follow these seasonal patterns. So charts like these can help a boss or client understand the larger context of your work. It's just another indication and another way to visually represent how things like social factors might be affecting your online marketing campaign. Even if it's not something you're managing directly, it can be that good kind of translation point to show them, what it is you're doing and the space and environment that you're working in. And of course, when we talk about speaking business, we have to think about conversions and goal completions in e-commerce. Links and rankings are nice, but traffic and revenue, that's what your boss is going to care about. So there are a number of tools in Raven where you can see your conversion data mashed up with your other campaign data. And so, a few of them, Google Analytics, obviously. Raven's SEO metrics tool actually filters some of the most important data from your own Google Analytics to make it easier to see things based on engagement and conversion metrics. Our rankings tool has conversion data mashed up in it as well, just because, again, those rankings are a means to an end. Obviously, Raven's AdWords and AdWords metrics tools are going to show you your conversions, your clicks, your return on spend, helpful metrics like that. And then on the right, we also have some tools that you may not be aware of are integrated with Google Analytics. For example, Facebook and Twitter, those metrics tools in Raven, not only can you measure your social engagement and your social successes there, but we also have integrations with Google Analytics where with the click of a button, you can see the specific social links that were clicked that drove traffic to your website and can even drill down and see whether or not that social referral traffic converted. Raven's Link Manager in our SEO metrics tool will allow you to automatically filter the referral traffic that the links you built and you are managing in Link Manager drove to a website. So just kind of a helpful way to say, hey, boss or client, not only did my links help with your rankings and authority, but it was directly responsible for X number of site visits and, however much money. And also, Raven integrates with a number of email software providers where you can not only see the opens and clicks and stuff, but also that integration with Google Analytics for increased visibility into what's actually converting. So just a few tools here you should check out and keep in mind as you think about all of the places that you can show progress and directly show conversions. And of course, again, you can whip up reports in all these tools to show your clients how you're impacting their bottom line. So I mentioned how another piece of an effective client report is telling a story. Now, reporting isn't all that different from storytelling because, graphs and numbers alone might not always paint the full picture. So one way you can help your clients see the value of your work is by adding custom summary modules. And these can be used to explain results, make observations, or transition from section to section within your report. You can add standalone summary modules like I did here on the screenshot on the left. And then there are also summary boxes within each data module you add in Reports Wizard too. So basically, these are your blank slate in Raven. You can do whatever you want here. You can give your client information like explanations about what you did, how you did it, observations, recommendations, show off how much you know. And if you need to, I also circled on the left how you can embed links and add images to these summary boxes, where you can add even more imagery to your report, bring in all of your data, both in and outside of Raven, and get it all here in this single report. So summaries, super helpful in Raven reporting, especially for that storytelling element that kind of helps you go beyond the numbers. The last tip I have reporting for a boss or client is that you cater to their competitive side. I thought of calling this stroking their egos, but not every boss or client has an ego. But they do have a competitive side. They want to win. They want to dominate their space. And so one way to kind of cater to this competitive side is through custom branding. Clients love seeing their company's branding on their reports. It's a small touch, but it goes a long way. And here you can quickly see how to create brand templates and apply them to your report in Raven. It's a simple 3-step process. First, just go to our brand templates tool and create a brand template. It only takes minutes to create, with adding your logo, headers, footers, and color schemes. And then step 2 is going to Reports Wizard and, going into the report builder and applying a brand template to a report you create. And step 3 kind of shows where you apply that brand template in the report builder itself. It's just a simple little drop down in your edit report options. So it's easy. Go create a brand template and apply it to your reports. Your clients will love you for it. You're the one doing the work, so we want you to take credit for it. Get that Raven branding out of there and get your own branding in these reports. Finally, everyone loves to see his or her company dominate the competition, and Raven can help you make these head-to-head comparisons in a number of ways, including, a few tools we've already touched on, like Site Performance, which is an automatic way to draw these detailed head-to-head comparisons of an overall campaign. You've got those custom quality analyzers where you can measure your site against the competitions using the same valuable metrics of your choosing. Research Central also has a really detailed comparison module. It's just an easy way to stack up your site alongside another website at any time in your campaign. And finally, those social monitor modules. We saw how those can be helpful to paint an industry-wide picture. And, mentions and sentiment and buzz don't equal money, but they can be a really strong indicator of the strength and health of someone's online presence. And, as an added tip, if you want to get really creative, you could perhaps even run a monitor search of a competitor alongside your client. And if you start filtering by sentiment, you might be able to see lots of mentions that your competitor stinks, whereas your brand is mentioned in more favorable conversations. You can reach out to these folks. You can show your bosses and clients, haha, our competitors are the big dogs in the industry, but everyone hates them. Kind of up to you. You can run a monitor report and find out, but you can get really creative with those monitor searches since they just pull these conversations from all over the web. So in all, just a few options here of other ways you can add context and present your results alongside competitor data in your reports. So we've covered a ton of data, features, tips, and tricks so far. So I want to take a moment to make sure you all realize that each of these modules can be added and edited in seconds. And we can build these comprehensive reports in just minutes. Because what you see is what you get, no tricks or gimmicks. And again, once you create a custom report in Raven, you can save it and schedule it and create the ultimate set it and forget it tool. And I imagine some of you might not necessarily believe me. So here we can go ahead and log into Raven and do a live demo of how to whip up these custom branded PDF campaign reports in just minutes. Because we've talked about the components of a good report. So let's finish up by seeing just how easy they really are to create. So we're logged into our Raven account here. I'm going to go down to Reports, Report Wizard, where the magic happens, no pun intended. Here's where those brand templates can be created. I'll show you how to apply them to your report. So I'm just going to come in here, build a one-time report here under New Report. And so we're in the actual report builder. And basically, for those of you new to Raven, you build a report by adding data from these tabs on the left to your report over here on the right. And these tabs on the left are clearly named and labeled, pretty reflective of the primary tool groups and tools you'll see in Raven's global navbar. So we can just kind of go top to bottom here and add all these different elements. So maybe you want to add a cover page. Can do that. Can add custom page titles too. Don't forget that in each of these modules, you've got this flexibility to add some custom page titles, really personalize these at every step. Raven will create a table of contents for you, so you don't have to worry about order or page number. You can add those custom summary modules. Make those observations. Make those recommendations. You could probably create a much better one than I did, but here's where you'll embed those links and embed those images if you have those handy and want to tie them in. Hit Save Changes, and we're off and running with our summary page. In fact, let's get really creative and call this an executive summary. Sound really professional. Doesn't that sound more professional? I think so. Can go through and now we can get into the guts of a report and start to add data. So we've got our campaign data. Maybe we want this overarching site performance report. We can add it from the left to our report on the right. And we can get in here and add competitors from Competitor Manager as easy as selecting them from this dropdown. We can add a custom comparison date range just by using this picker here. And as easy as that, we can hit Save Changes, and this site performance report using those 30+ important marketing metrics has been added to this report. We can go through and add that research component to our report here in Research Central. We've got tons of options to look at design analyzers, keywords, site keywords, or just keywords in the industry. We've got those link reports or this quality analyzer that I used in a couple examples. So just add that quality analyzer from the left to the right. And then, as always, each module will have options. In this case, some of the options are required. You have to tell Raven which URL to research, which quality report to use. I'll just use the default quality analyzers. Mouse down, hit Save Changes, and we've added a research component to this report. We can add site auditor data. So, whether you want to line item individual issues that are broken, which might be good to send someone on your team so they kind of have a to-do list, or if you just want a summary for your manager or client, you can add that from the left to the right. Default will be all sections, but if you just want to point out the most pressing issues, you can pick and choose individual sections using this dropdown. You can add custom auditor page titles. And again, here's those internal summary boxes. We saw the standalone summary modules, but here you can, embed these observations and this copy and these images within this individual report module. So in this case, I want to address this specifically, and I'm going to use the same example of just placeholder copy, but good way to, again, show off how much you know, explain the data that your client's seeing, and what to do next. Hit Save Changes, and we've added this auditor summary and, kind of that extra context to our report. Go through, you might want to include a keyword ranking report. Can add it from the left to our report on the right. As always, we have options. In this case, we have a lot of options. We can pick and choose metrics we want to include and reorder them. So maybe we don't want Bing data, and we do want this competition metric to come first. Maybe we don't want clicks. We only want conversions, so we can select that. Don't be scared of the control you have over your customization options and control over your data. You can adjust the date range for all this information. Let's go back in time. You can sort this alphabetical order based on top performing keywords, how many keywords you want to pull in. And here's some of those filtering and tagging options I mentioned where, you can control specifically which keywords come in, whether they're high priority, whether you use tag based on the owner, whether you just want to show branded, unbranded terms. It's up to you. But get your options set up, hit Save Changes, and we've added a keyword ranking report. We can add social data, so adding a Twitter module from the left to the right, as easy as picking an account, hitting Save Changes, and boom, that's in. Maybe we're managing 2 Twitter accounts for this client. Click it on the left again. Oh, hey, it's this easy to pick different Twitter accounts and add 2 different individual Twitter modules to this larger report. We can add that great social monitor data here from the left to the right. Mouse down, pick your search. You can filter by sentiment, by reach, by source, by type of result. If there was, a type, if maybe you had a link building effort and you want to, show all the buzz regarding some of the links you built. But a lot of great filtering options here with all this great data you pull in. You can hit Save Changes, and this monitor report is added. Uh-oh, my browser's freezing. Let's hit refresh real quick. Oh no, internet fail. So that's loaded. We can go through, add a custom Google Analytics summary that we talked about. Oops. That hard refresh kicked in. It wouldn't be a live webinar without some internet issues, now would it? There we go. So we're back. Adding all this data to our report on the left. Can wrap up with that Google Analytics summary. It's added over here on the right. Got the options to, add past comparison date ranges. You can even filter by goal completions and conversions if you don't want to just look at some traffic. Or all traffic. You can look at just the traffic that converted. You can limit this. The results in your tables. Pick and choose different metrics you want to include. All sorts of filtering options. And, there's all sorts of different types of Google Analytics modules you can add from the left. But hit Save Changes. In terms of reordering your report, that can be done as easy as drag and drop. So just get it kind of in the order you want here on the right. You've got the data you want and the order you want it. Mouse up. Want that brand template? Just click Edit Report like I showed you. Pick the brand template you selected. Hit Submit. Your report's updated with that new branding. So we have our branding, we have our data, we have our report order, everything we need. We can click Run Report here at the top. And here in literally minutes, from start to finish, we created that custom branded PDF campaign report.